What is going on, guys? Little Dog here, and today I'm bringing you a mini quest guide for the Curse of Zaros. Now this is a follow-up to Desert Treasure, and you have completed that quest to actually start this one. But in this quest, this is how you get the Ghostly Cloak, which happens to be a requirement for a Master Clue. And don't forget, if this video helps, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If it doesn't help, don't leave a like, don't subscribe. Even dislike. I appreciate the criticism. Alright, so we're going to start off by talking about the quest requirements. So for this quest, you need to have at least started Desert Treasure. This is the sequel to Desert Treasure, but it actually only requires that you have started the quest, and you need to have finished the Restless Ghost so that you have the Ghostpeak Amulet. You need to also make sure that you receive the Ring of Visibility from the Desert Treasure quest and that you still have it. If you don't have it, the wiki can tell you how to get it, because I don't know off the top of my head. As for skill requirements, it's recommended that you have 31 prayer and 15 agility. You don't actually need these if you get lucky enough and you get stuck on the first sequence, but if you get put on sequence 2 or 3, you are going to need these skill requirements for accessing the Edgeville Monastery and something else I can't think of off the top of my head. But once again, I'm guessing if you've at least started Desert Treasure, you probably already have these skills. In terms of the items that you're going to need, you're going to need that Ring of Visibility and the Ghostpeak Amulet that I spoke about earlier. And I just need to warn you that parts of this quest will take place in the wilderness. It doesn't matter which sequence you get put on, you will have to go into the deep wilderness. So don't bring anything you aren't willing to lose. I brought hybrid armor that I got from the God Wars dungeon. It's tier 75, good enough to do whatever I needed, and then I just brought a cheap staff with me to do damage if I needed to. There's no actual combat, but you're in the wilderness, so you never know. And lastly, for the items I'm going to recommend, you should bring about 2 energy potions, especially if you have low agility, you're more prone to run energy. Around 5 food just in case you get attacked out in the wilderness, and emergency teleports once again in case you get attacked in the wilderness and don't want to lose all your stuff. To start the quest, you're going to go to Glariel's Tombstone, which is just east of the Baxtorian Falls, and talk to the mysterious ghost there. To see the mysterious ghost, you're going to want to make sure that you equip your Ring of Visibility to see him, and to speak to the ghost, you need to have your Ghostpeak Amulet equipped. So you're going to start by talking to the mysterious ghost, and this is really the only part of the quest where you have to pay any attention to what is going on. So you're going to want to start by saying, "Tell me your story." And the ghost is going to go through and tell you how you received a curse involving the Staff of Armadil, and how it was stolen from him after he stole it from somebody else. Now, I say this is the only part of the quest where you actually have to pay attention, but there is some really interesting dialogue and lore involved in this quest, if you're interested in it. If not, you can just hold spacebar and get through this quest in 15 minutes. Less than that even, because you don't actually have to get the rewards. So there's a part of the dialogue here where you really have to pay attention. This is going to determine your sequence. So he's going to tell you, "The last I heard of Renard was here or here." So make note of where he says. If you are going to be on sequence 1, like me, he mentions pirates and a shipwreck. If you get placed on the sequence 2, he's going to mention the thief, Renard, being northeast of there, where you are. And for sequence 3, he's going to mention the thief being southeast of there. Now, I go over sequence 1 during this video, however, I give you locations to each of the sequences, and the dialogues are going to be the same. So for sequence 1, the first place you're going to want to go, if you talked about shipwrecks and pirates, is all the way north in the wilderness, near the pirates' hideout by the agility training arena. For sequence 2, where it says northeast of here, you need to go to the bandit camp in the wilderness. The fastest way to get there is going to be the wilderness lodestone. And for sequence 3, southeast of here, it's going to be in the bandit camp in the desert. You're going to want to take the lodestone in the desert to get there. So for sequence 1, what I did is I home teleported to Edgeville, and then I took that lever to the deep wilderness to just avoid running as much as possible. If you don't like using lever, if you're scared of somebody possibly camping it, you can use the wilderness lodestone or just cross in Edgeville or wherever you feel safest and just run to the deep wilderness. But I chose the lever because it saved time and I didn't really have anything on me I was concerned about losing. If you are worried about losing anything, especially that ghostly top that you just received, you can go ahead and bank that right now. You can bank everything as soon as you get it. You don't need it for any later parts of the quest. Just make sure that you have that Ring of Visibility and the Ghostpeak Amulet on you. So you're going to pull the lever right here in Edgeville, if you're not familiar with it, and it's going to take you deep into the wilderness. You're going to get stuck on this little lava island here, and you need to slash this web to get off. Once again, this is just sequence 1. So if you got placed on a sequence 2 or 3, you need to be heading to the area where I told you. I apologize if this makes it a little difficult, but I'm not able to actually do each sequence because it's just a luck of the draw thing. So even if I made 3 characters, there's no telling that I would get, you know, sequence 1, 2, and 3. So I apologize for that. But you get the gist of it, and the dialogue is the same. But for sequence 1, to find Renard, you just need to go west from where you teleported into the wilderness and run all the way over to the pirate ship. Now, I thought he was actually in the pirate's hideout here for a minute, so I tried to open all these doors even though they were locked. And I quickly realized when I saw him walking over by the boat that I was in the wrong place. You know, a little embarrassing, but whatever. Alright, so you can actually see him standing over there by the boat right now. I finally see him. Click on him. So what you're going to want to do when you find him is just click on him to talk to the mysterious ghost, and you can go ahead and click through the dialogue until you're given a chat option. Once again, if you care about the lore, it is pretty interesting. If you don't, just hold spacebar. You're going to be fine. I'll get you through this. There's going to be one dialogue option here, tell me your story, and it's the same for each person you talk to, and there's only 4 more after the first guy. So at this point, you can just hold spacebar, and he's going to explain to you how he stole the staff from Menard, but the staff was stolen from him by, you know, somebody else. He explains to you where he thinks they might be, and he believes that they're the reason that he's cursed. But he also believes it could go deeper, which it actually does, which is why this video is so long. So it doesn't matter what they say at this point because your sequence is already determined. So if you're on sequence 1, you're going to follow what I'm doing. If you're on sequence 2, you'll go to where I say to go on the map. And sequence 3, same thing. It's already been determined, so you don't have to worry about anything else. So if you are on sequence number 1, Karim, the next person, is going to be found just southwest of where you are in the Chaos Altar in the wilderness. If you're on sequence number 2, you're going to need to go to the Graveyard of Shadows. I know that she is in the Graveyard of Shadows. I just don't know exactly where, so you may have to search around a little bit. And if you're in the 3rd sequence, you're going to need to go into the lava maze in the 2nd fenced-in area here. So you're going to have to go all the way through the lava maze, which is dangerous. But if you want the cloak, you got to do it. So I just ran all the way there from deep in the wilderness because there was a gate. Not too far of a run. Once you do get to the Chaos Altar, you're just going to do the same thing and talk to the mysterious ghost. Make sure you have your Ring of Visibility and your necklace still equipped. And then you're going to choose the first chat option once again after the initial dialogue to just tell me your story. Now this quest sort of has a one small favor vibe because you just keep getting led on and led on and led on. But it's not as long. You only have to talk to 6 people total, including this starting guy for the quest. So it doesn't take too long. And you learn a lot of backstory about Zaros. So Karim is going to tell you about Lanissa. So you get to leave the wilderness now. If you're on sequence 1, you need to go to Entrana. So you have to bank some stuff, but you can do that right on the way. If you're on sequence 2, you're going to be going to the docks by the trader in Port Sarum. So she can be found on these docks anywhere here. And if you're on sequence 3, you have to go to the Tree Gnome Stronghold just south of the Gnome Ball Field. Look around anywhere there. She could be walking around. So because you're so deep in the wilderness, you can't teleport. So you are going to have to walk south back towards Edgeville and teleport once you get back into level 25 wilderness. So sequences 1 and 2 are going to be home teleporting to Port Sarim, obviously, if that's how you choose to teleport. And if you're on the third, the easiest way to get to the Tree Gnome Stronghold is going to be like a Grand Seed Pod or teleporting with a Spirit Tree from the Grand Exchange. Sorry if the audio is a little quiet in this video. It's late at night right now when I'm recording this, and my roommate is trying to sleep, so I'm trying to be a little polite. But once you've arrived in Port Sarim, you're going to want to unequip all your items on the run over to the boat to Intrana. Anything that is combat related, you can keep your Ring of Invisibility and Ghost Speak Amulet. It's actually very important that you do. And then you're going to want to deposit the items into the deposit box. Make sure you do not deposit your Ring of Visibility or Ghost Speak Amulet, because this next part will not be possible. You can keep the ghostly stuff on you, that's not combat related, and then just travel to Intrana. So the ghost is going to be in the church. And you're just going to want to talk to the mysterious ghost. Once again, just like all of the other ghosts, you're going to choose the first chat option for her to tell you her story. And to hold space. It's going to get you right through it real quick. She's going to tell you of Dalek, who can be found in the Wizard's Tower if you are on sequence number 1. Fast way to get there is going to be a Draenor Teleport or the DIS Fairy Ring. Dalek number 2 is going to be found in the Edgeville Monastery upstairs by the altar. I'm sorry, it doesn't show upstairs, but I couldn't get an upstairs picture of the monastery. And the third Dalek is going to be found in the Faldor party room, just walking around. You might have to look around, it's pretty big in there. So since I'm sequence 1, I'm home teleporting to Draenor because I didn't have my staff on me to use the fairy rings. And then I just ran south from there. It's not too far of a walk. The ghost could be anywhere on the bottom floor here of the Wizard's Tower, and with all the obstacles, it can be a little hard to find. I managed to find him pretty quick, and once you get in, you're just going to want to talk to him. And it's the same thing, tell me your story. Now Dalek's going to tell you about the final person you have to talk to. That's going to be, oh man, what was his name? Viggora. I was thinking Renard, but that was the first guy. So you're going to have to talk to Viggora after talking to Dalek, who you're currently talking to now. He tells you where to find him, which can be in the wilderness for path 1 and 3, or not for path 2. I mean, he's the final guy, and he has quite the dialogue that he gives you. So if you're on Viggora number 1, sequence 1, like I am, you're going to need to go to the Rogue's Castle, so deep wilderness once again. If you're on path number 2, you're going to need to go to the 2nd floor of the Slayer Tower and talk to him there. Lucky you, you don't have to go to the wilderness this time. And if you're on sequence number 3, you have to go to the Earth Warriors. Now this one can be a bit troublesome. Make sure you bring enough food to fight off Earth Warriors for 10 minutes because they're gonna aggro. So from there, you can, what I did since I was sequence 1, I just went right back to Edgeville. And if needed, you can grab some items from the bank right now. Just pause. I just keep my bank off screen. I grab some stuff. I just grab my Zami equipment again. And all the other ghostly equipment, just so I had the full set on me. But you don't need to do that. So I grabbed some combat equipment. And then I pulled the lever and went right back in the deep wilderness. Now, if you're on sequence 1 like me, you do need to watch out for the KSL elemental here. You will be attacked if you don't keep your distance. I didn't keep my distance because fuck it, I don't care. But it's a little faster to avoid him too. And you just have to run all the way south and run along the wall. But I just ran right at him. Gonna get teleported back. There it is. Then all my equipment's gonna get removed, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? So once you're in the rogue's castle, you can't actually get in the front door. If you were confused by it, you have to go in through the side door. Chaos Elemental was giving me some trouble. So you need to go in through the side door, like I said. And then Viggora is going to be upstairs. Once you're upstairs, you're just going to go east. And there's going to be a small room with a bronze kite shield on the floor. And that's the room you need to be in. And then you're going to talk to the mysterious ghost, who is Viggora. Now, he's going to have quite a bit of an attitude because he's a salty motherfucker. But your character calms him down, tells him that you're here to help, find out, where this curse comes from. And Viggora happens to know. Like I said, he has quite the dialogue. So even holding space down, not reading this, you're likely to have a minute of dialogue to click through. I personally was enjoying the quest, so I read it. And so I sped this part up because I know most people don't enjoy reading dialogue. And even if you do, you don't really need this guide anymore. There is some rewards that I show you how to claim at the end. But you can just pause and then skip to that point, try and find it when I'm finally done talking to Viggora, because I'm going to forget to put a link in the description. If I tell you, I will. I always do. So you can just talk to Viggora for a little bit, and he's going to basically explain to you everything that happened between Zaros and Zamorak while Zamorak was rising to godhood, and that involved the other gods as well. I won't spoil it until, the end here, once I've clicked all through it. But yeah, this is sped up 2 times, and you could see that I was actually reading it because I had gotten into the quest. I really enjoyed this one. I'm usually not one for lore. Told you, it's quite a bit. And the hard clue had to require the last part of this. So you actually have to complete the quest to get the cloak. Or the master clue. I apologize. That's the only reason I did it. I didn't even know this quest existed. But I had to look up Ghostly Cloak for my first master clue, and I had to complete this. So yeah. Yep. Anyways, he's beating around the bush essentially about who the god is and who he served, or who Zami killed essentially. and how he got the curse. And he ends up telling you finally that when Zamorak killed him, he cursed all the mortals who were there and who had been involved in the stealing of the staff, which he was stabbed with, and he reveals that it was indeed Zaros who had done the stabbing. Or had been stabbed. Was the stabbee. So once you're done talking to him, if you're not interested in the experience lamp or the kudos, or you already know how to get to Historian Minus and retrieve your kudos, you don't have to worry about this. I know most of you do know how to do that. If you've already, done the dig site, you know how to get kudos and all that, and how to get the rewards for them. But if you don't, you can watch now. Now, if you're going to click away from the video, I really appreciate you watching. I love you. Peace. Make sure to leave a comment down below. But if you're interested in those rewards, keep watching. Really, all we're going to do is run into lower level wilderness and home teleport to Varrock. So if you want to, pause this so you don't have to listen to me talk, and just get to Varrock, we can meet there. But once again, no timestamp, because I'm gonna forget. So once you finally get back in level 25 wilderness, because it's quite the hike, you can finally teleport. I was lucky enough not to run into any PKers while I was out here, which was surprising. I was happy with that. Not having to deal with that, edit all that BS out. That's nice. Hopefully you have the same luck. So like I said, Varrock, just going to home teleport. If you had teleport runes on you, that's even faster because it's closer to the museum where we're going. The museum is in northeastern Varrock. I didn't even add a picture with a little red square on it to show you where it was, because you should already know. And if not, you can just run with my character to get there. Once you're in the museum, you're going to want to go upstairs. Talk to Historian Minus, and then you're going to choose the second chat option. I have some information that might be used in your displays. He's going to give you an XP lamp when your character tells him about it, and you're going to receive 10 kudos for the completion of this quest. Alright, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you're killing it with those master clues. Make sure to join the friends chat, LittleDogleg15. Check out my other videos, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. Peace. I appreciate you.